Welcome back to Brick by Brick. Today we're going to be going through what I spent in the month of November. I enjoy doing these. I have always been interested in the FIRE movement, which for those of you who don't know, stands for Financially Independent Retire Early. This has been a goal of mine for quite a while, even though I have only started working fairly recently. But I do try to minimize my expenses as much as possible so I can save and invest money to ultimately allow me to live off of the money that money makes in the future. I've made some headway on this, but part of this involves spending very little. As the title of the video states, I was able to only spend $1,063 in the month of November. That includes housing, food, and everything. And today we're going to be going through some of those numbers and looking at the detail. So we're going to be going through each of these expenses one by one. A couple of these are expenses that I pay on a 6-month or yearly basis, and I thought it would be fair to divide up that cost per month for that total price. So we're going to start out with those. So my car registration, I live in Utah and drive an electric car. It is pretty pricey. The state government has put in some fines or some fees that electric vehicles owners have to pay. Because we don't contribute to the gas tax from the tax gas revenue. So for that, yearly it costs about like $350. Sometimes it's less. It'll probably be more next year. It seems to be keep increasing. So that works out to be about $29 a month. And then next up, we get to car insurance. This is roughly, and ballpark is about $250 per 6 months. So that's $500 per year, and $500 divided by the year. That gives us about $42. And then my phone plan, I use Mint Mobile. There might have been an ad for Mint Mobile on this before when you clicked on the video. I think they're a great service. I've used them. They're about $15 a month. They do have a couple other small fees that add up to be roughly $17 to $18 in total a month. So that is part of the factor there. The final expense in the monthly category, the car I drive, you can buy a data plan for it, which allows me to watch YouTube and browse the internet within my car, and that costs every year $100. So that is going to be about $8.30 a month. So I added that to the total. And then here we have the big one. This is the one that people are usually the most surprised about. So my total housing expenses are roughly $650. I have a roommate, so this helps considerably. He pays half of the utilities for me, which we'll get to later, as well as he pays about $800 a month. And that helps considerably. So my share ends up being half of utilities plus about $650 for the HOA. That includes property taxes, HOA, the mortgage itself, the interest from that, as well as some of that money is, of course, being paid towards the principal. I recently bought this condo, so not a ton of it is going towards principal, but nonetheless, some of that money is still being saved. And if I ever decide to sell this house, I can get some of that money back. So that is $650. And then utilities, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, those usually end up being about $65 a month. Next up is the grocery bill. So this is, I usually do about $40 to $50 a week in groceries. This month, in the month of November, it ended up being about $180 for groceries. So I did slightly under the $50 a week, and that seemed to be doing pretty well. I do eat pretty inexpensively. There are some times where I just eat ramen, beans. I do try to stay healthy and nutritious, but that's an area where I've been able to save some money. And then I do occasionally treat myself to eating out. Usually it's just at a relatively inexpensive fast food establishment. My regular is Taco Bell. I allow myself a $5 Taco Bell treat every Thursday. I also do the occasional other place. It isn't a ton of money for the month of November. That ended up being about $35 for my eating out budget. And then also in the month of November, I try to get a haircut every 4 to 6 weeks. And that fell in the month of November this time. And that ended up being $17, including the tip. So that is going to be added to the pile. And then, like I mentioned, I do drive an electric car. I, fortunately enough, work from home, so I don't have a commute. I also just generally don't drive that much, so it isn't too much of an expense. So for the month of November, I put it about $20. That's about what I spent for electricity for the car, not for my house. That would be included in the utilities section. But in general, that is the breakdown of how much I spent. The FIRE movement, financially independent, retire early. So that's the main reason I am saving this much money and being financially wise, because I have a goal of retiring. I don't have an exact date, optimally as early as possible, but I've always thought it was an amazing idea that you don't necessarily have to follow the standard work till you're 60 or 65 and then retire. You can, if you play your cards right, retire much earlier. Some people have done early 30s, mid 30s, 40s, early 50s. It's really a broad idea. It can be just however much you're able to put away. You generally can live off about 4% of that. You can withdraw that amount. I've heard different numbers. I've heard everywhere from like 3 to 5%. So the average seems to be about 4%, where you can withdraw that from the investment fund and still ultimately be able to maintain that fund and live off of it for however long you end up living after retirement, which even if it comes in your 30s or 20 or late 20s, that is kind of how it goes. It's been a goal of mine, and I am hopefully going to reach it at some point. That's why I try to save as much money as possible. I also try to invest as often as possible. I've made a couple videos on that. But those are some of the ways that I have been able to help save money. Of FIRE gray areas too, where you financially independent retire early. I do think that if you are going to retire at like 30 or 35 or 29 or whatever it be, that it's good to have at least some sort of meaning and purpose to your life, which that can be done without working completely. But generally, it's good to have at least something that it doesn't necessarily mean that whoever receives FIRE isn't going to be working at all. It's just that they're going to be able to put their passions and creativity towards something they generally care about. And if you're in a position where you already feel that way about your job, that's awesome. I'm trying to get there with my job. There are a variety of amazing jobs out there that can help you do this. But for me, I just really am excited about the idea of being financially independent, retire early. I have a couple sources of income I've gone through already on some of my previous videos, but in general, that is why I've been interested in FIRE. It can be a interesting movement. Some people see it as a bit extreme. There are definitely some people who aren't a big fan of it, saying that you will lack clarity and purpose in your life. I don't completely agree with that. I think it's very possible to live a fulfilling life even by retiring in early, whether that be anywhere from 25 to 45. I think it is genuinely possible to have a good life regardless. But that has been a common critique and is an interesting point. I don't completely agree with it. But for now, and then another point about FIRE that has been seen as kind of a deterrent is that it isn't necessarily predictable. That the market averages have generally stated that you can do about a 4% return withdrawal rate from the investment account. There have been some people who have said this is a too high a number. So some have set a realistic range of about 3.5%. So ultimately, it is up to the fate of the market. There is still quite a bit of risk involved. So you can, of course, once you leave the job market, it can be difficult to, after a break of time where you thought you had enough to be retired, should the market crash or do something, it still gives you an opportunity to be able to continue investing and be able to get back in the job market. It's not necessarily a black and white retired or not working at all versus full-time job. You can, of course, also do some sort of gray area, like a part-time job that doesn't pay as well, but still gives you some purpose and meaning and is something you enjoy doing. That can be a great way to help make some money to support yourself as kind of an addition to the FIRE. while still working a little bit and doing something you're passionate about. Ultimately, I think that would be the optimal area that I'm hoping to achieve at some point. For now, I'm just trying to save and invest as much as possible. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.